Hello guys, so in this video we will go deeper into the content window and we will see how can we customize and edit our layers in the content window, and we will see what is the options we have with each layer. So here is the map we created in the previous videos. I just added the other files. I added the text file that show Texas addresses, a CSV file, JSON file, GPX file, and we have the shape file we uploaded from our computer. And here is the feature service we added from ArcGIS server that available from Esri for the auto theft data in San Francisco. And here the world transportation layer we added from ArcGIS Online. So now let's see what can we do with the content window. As you see here, we have the content list, and the first thing you can do is you can enable or disable any layer you have on the map. So for example, we have the state right here. I can show or hide the states, or you can show or hide any layer. The other thing you can do is you can reorder the layers. So as you see here on the left side, there is 3 dots. When you click on it and you drag up or down the layer, you can change the order for your layer. You cannot make a group layer right here, but some layers automatically have a group layer. So when you have this arrow right here next to any layer, that means there is more layers inside of this specific layer. So for example, here we have the GPX file. When we go and we zoom to the GPS location, you will see that we have the line right here, but in the same time you have the points for the GPS data. So you can hide the line. So let's hide the states here. So here, as you see, you have the dots for the GPS location, and you have a line that show the tracking for this GPS data. You can hide the line, and also you can hide or show the points. So that's when you add a layer that automatically have group layer inside of it. It will show up with this arrow right here, but you cannot create a group layer on your own. So for example, I cannot add all these layers under one group. So now when we hover our mouse on any layer, you will see that you have some options right here, and you have this extra options on here, and we will go through each one of them. But what I want you to know that these options change based on what type of layer you're working on. So for example, this is a text file. We have the option to show or hide the legend in the legend window. We have the option to show the attribute table. Here we have the option to change the style or the symbology for this layer. And here we can make a cluster for the points because this is a point layer. So for example, this option right here, you will not see it in the states because the states is a polygon, not a point. So you cannot make clustering for the polygon. And you will see that the options is different per layers. So for example, this layer, because it's a feature service, we have an extra option here that is filter, and filter is very similar to the query definition on ArcGIS Desktop or ArcGIS Pro, where you can make a definition to show specific features and hide other, and we will see how can we do that. But I'm showing you right now that some layers have options that doesn't exist in the other layers. For example, this one here, the world transportation, it doesn't have any options for us other than maybe show the legend. Other than that, we don't have any other options. So that is how you can differentiate between some layers. Depends on how many things you can do. If it's a feature service, you can filter. If it's a polygon, there is no clustering. So that's why when you hover on any layer and you see an option doesn't exist, or you see an extra option, you know that is just a different type of data that you are working on. So right now, let's go to this layer and see what can we do with it, because this one have all the options that we might need. So here the first option we have here is show legend, and this will just show you the symbology of the layer right below it. So for example, this one, when we click here, you will see the symbology. For this one, we will see the symbology as a line, and this one we will see the symbology as a point. So when you look at the map, you know which layer you are looking at. And here the next option here to show the attribute. So let's zoom to this layer before we show the attribute, and we will open the attribute by clicking here, and we will see the attribute table right here. So that shows us how many features we have in this layer, how many selected, and we have so many other options here in the attribute table that we will show in another video. And the next thing is the symbology. So you can change the symbology of your points. You can create it as based on location, or you can create a heat map, or you can create it based on attribute, and we will make a separate video for that. But that's how you can change the symbology, is by clicking on this icon right here that say change symbology. And here is the filter, as I told you, similar to query definition on ArcGIS Desktop or ArcGIS Pro. And here how it works, very similar to how ArcGIS Pro looks right now, and in the next videos we will see how can we do expressions and how can we filter our map. The next option here is cluster points, and this one will allow you to minimize and clustering your points, because as you saw before I enable, if I cancel this one, you will see here that I'm seeing a lot of points on the map and it's very on top of each other. And when I select one item, actually I'm selecting 30, not only 1 point, because they are very dense in one location, so they look very cluttered. So when I enable the cluster here, you will see that my points will be shown in smaller or larger points, and that means what is the density of these points in this area. So for example, this is a small point. When I click on it, it will tell me that you only have 233 features here, and this large one, it have 2449 features. And if you want to see more features, you just zoom into the location and you will see more points in the place you zoomed at. And also you can change the clustering here, so you can enable or disable it from here, and you can change the density of your clustering from here. As you see, when I change it, the points change on the map and the size of the points to change. And you can say OK to enable that, so I'll click cancel. So that's it for this video about what the content window have and how you can differentiate between some layers and what is the difference between each button here that you can do different things with, and for each layer you have different options. And in the next video we will see what can we do with these options right here, so we have more focus on what is the layer options we can change or use right here. So we'll see you in the next video. Thanks.